Hello. Hi everyone. Welcome to this EU edition of the Alexa Developers Office Hours. Just let me know if you can hear me well. I'm Gaetano from the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group. You might have seen me already in some of the streams or on YouTube, on some videos. And just give a few minutes to people to connect. Welcome everyone. I see we already have a few joiners. Any feedback on the audio? All right. Let's see if we have any comments in the chat already. Okay, we received the first feedback. Thank you, B3. Say good sound, and thank you for sharing today. Yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure. As I was saying, for who just connected now, Gaetano from the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group, which is the team that helps you building your skill in the best way possible. So we help developers both on the technical side, which is one of my duties, and also on the business side. So we have a tech and business-oriented team. So the session of today is kind of a free form. So just ask me anything that you like, and I'll try to address your question, concerns, or suggestion in the best way possible. So spoiler alert: I won't be able to answer all the questions. I wish, but I'll be definitely able to address this internally and make aware the correct team internally, basically. So just as a refresh, you can contact us in two ways. One is the contact us page, and one is the developer forum. So here you can see all the links to them. I will share them in the chat as well. So it's alexa.design/contact us and alexa.design forums. So the first one is one-to-one kind of interaction. So you can write to us, cut a ticket to us with your concern, with your question, or the issue that you're having, and we'll try our best to reply to you as soon as possible, and also involve the correct internal team for the issue that you're having. Second one is the forums, which is a one-to-man interaction. You can write your post, and you will get an answer for either for us or from the community itself. So that's it. All right. So any questions you'd like to address, just drop them in the chat and today. But if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. But there is something that I'd like to talk about nonetheless. So I've seen that we are starting receiving some questions about the deprecation of the display templates, and so there is deprecation that will happen by the end of July, and this will be basically affecting skills that are using the current render template, so which is the old-fashioned way to basically render something on the screen, which will be replaced by APL. And I've seen a recurring question like developer that were saying, I've just received a message from your team saying that render template is going to get deprecated, but my skill doesn't actually use any of those templates. So that's fine. I mean, so this is happening for a few reasons. So developers might receive this email just because they have the display interface enabled, and this is the only way we can understand if your skill is using this feature or not, because of course we have no access to your code for security reasons. So the only thing we can see is the skill manifest. So if you have enabled this in, if you've enabled the old display interface in your skill, maybe because you just, I don't know, tried it once because you wanted to test how it looked, and you forgot to disable it, that's fine. So to answer the question, will my skill still work if I have the display interface enabled but I don't use it? The short answer is yes, the skill will continue to work, but there is a more kind of elaborated answer that I'd like to provide, which is if you don't actually use the display interface but you have enabled it, I'll suggest you to disable it and then submit your skill for certification again. I can guarantee that this will not generate any downtime for your skill, because once you submit it, the certification team will see that you have disabled the display interface. So there will be no reason to test this feature if you have disabled it. And also, our team that is responsible to proactively reach out to developers will no longer see this interface in your skill, so will not send any additional email to say that you need to disable it. So an open question that I would provide to you is, are you looking to migrate some skill from display template to APL? And if you are thinking to take this opportunity to learn about APL actually, or just looking to, let's say, replace or migrate what you have in APL, and that's it. We just received a question. I got the deprecation notification for Node.js 10 as well. Can you speak to that? So yes, this is not the first time that we are compliant to the security issues that old Node.js versions are leaving behind. But if you're using an Alexa hosted skill or AWS, let's say your Lambda function, you should get a pop-up saying that by the next deploy, your skill code will be updated to the latest Node.js version, and you just say comply with that, and then from the next time it should work. Should be all fine. So let me know if you are having any issues. If so, just maybe share with us your skill ID either on the forum or in the contact us page, and we will be able to help you. You can see the two channels here. So please proceed with opening a case or a forum post for that. That's a good question. That's also applies to Python. It's not just Node.js. If there is a Python version that is going to get deprecated, the new deploy will update the runtime, let's say. Let me know if I answer your question. I'll be more than happy to follow up. So back to the deprecation of display templates. I'd like to add that there is a blog post in the works. I have no timeline yet, unfortunately, but it will basically feature some steps or best practices on how to migrate your skill seamlessly without losing any feature, or we will make sure that you will not provide a broken experience after the deprecation. So no worries about that. All right, it looks like I've answered the question correctly, so thanks for confirming that. So I see we have a few people connected, so let me know if you have any questions or things you'd like me to address. Otherwise, I'll just check the other chat. I would appreciate if you could provide some feedback on audio as well as I go. If you hear or see any issue, just let me know. Okay, I'll put the contact us page again in case someone is looking to contact us. Here are the details. let me see if I can pull the YouTube chat as well, because we are streaming on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. So yes, right, no questions here. And no questions or on the stream chat as well. So let's get back to the application. I was saying that if you have the display interface enabled but you don't use it, since we cannot access your code, just please, I would suggest you to disable it so we understand that. Yeah, just disable the interface so our internal team understands that you're actually not using the interface. Having it enabled without actually sending any render template responses doesn't make much sense for the reason I've just stated. So let's see. If you haven't seen it yet, let me share the screen. If you haven't seen it yet, there is a banner on the Alexa render template page. So that shows you that you're going to deprecate this by the end of July, and there are some steps you need to do it in order to overcome this. So if I look for Alexa display template, so you will see this pretty fancy banner here, red banner saying that the display interface is deprecated, that is not longer supported on all Alexa devices, and we suggest to you APL instead. There have been a few questions around this topic as well. So I've seen some developers that saw this page and try to apply the guidelines that you have posted on this page. So replace display template with responsive templates, but the issue that some developers were facing, and by that I mean developers that never seen APL before, some issues were around the fact that if you use those guidelines and you end up using the Alexa headline, which is, as we mentioned, a responsive component, there is not much you can do after you migrate to it, meaning that if you use this responsive component, you are only, I'd say, limited to change those very properties here. So, so you can, if you use this, you can just set the title, the background image, primary and secondary text, and that's it. So there was a question in the contact us, in our contact us queue saying, I am trying to replace body template 1 of the old display template to Alexa headline, but I would also like to make the text bigger. So this is not possible if you use Alexa headline, but if you like, I can maybe let you see how to create Alexa headline from scratch with, let's say, basic and native components, so that you can make the text bigger, you can change the color, do whatever you want, since you are basically have access to all the properties of a text. There are a few questions in the chat. Let me have a look. Okay, there is some support for companies, developers with Alexa. Greetings from Mexico. So, Rocker Landy, do you mean that you're looking for some agencies or developers that to build an Alexa skill for you? If so, we have a dedicated page for that I can look for, but I'm not sure if that's from if that supports the Mexico region. But I'll get back to you. Other question: I'm trying to put Amazon Alexa on a Raspberry Pi 3B+, but I'm not able to do it. Can I have help, please? I have done the developer way and the Git clone way too. Alright, so I think this is a question to be, which make more sense to address this to our AVS folks, but I guess you're using the Raspberry Pi 3B+ to use the Alexa AVS client SDK. Is that it? Because if so, we have a dedicated GitHub page for the project, for which you can raise an issue in the GitHub, and the AVS team, AVS client SDK team will be able to help you basically. Let me see if I can find the link for that. Okay, so you can press on the new issue button from here, and then you can post the details, some logs or screenshot of the problem that you're having. But you're saying I'm not able to do it. If you can maybe elaborate a bit more, I'll try to help you. But nonetheless, I'll also suggest to reach out to the GitHub page. I tried to do it as well once, and it got stuck because I was using the graphical user interface. So I was using the GUI, so the user interface of Raspbian or Raspberry Pi OS, can't remember the name, and it got stuck at some percentage. But then I did the same thing using the command line and by killing the X server basically. So I tried I did it headless, in other words, and then it worked. So if you say I'm not able to do it, I guess you're stuck at the very first step. So maybe it's worth trying that, then try to open an issue to our AVS folks here. That's my suggestion. So let me know if you have any insights about what the actual problem was, so I can help you. Thanks for the question though. Yes, so the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group, which what I'm part of, you can also contact us for AVS related issues. We will do our best to help you on those as well. But if the issue is related to the device SDK, the best course of action would be opening an issue there. So you just need a GitHub account. It's not that. It's not very difficult per se. So yeah. Let me have a look at the chat on YouTube as well. Got a few tabs open, so bear with me. Okay. So no other questions. So I'll continue on the screen sharing that I was doing here. You know what? Let's expand this so you can see it better. So I was saying, there are some additional questions on the AVS problem. So yeah, I got stuck while cloning and the official developer way didn't let me put in the code that Amazon sent me. Okay, thanks. I'm 12 years old. Wow, congrats. My parents don't know about tech, so I learned on my own. That's the best thing you could do. Learning on your own and learning by doing is one of my mottos. So yeah, just double down on that and learn as much as you can, because you're very, very young. But yeah, open an issue there, and they'll be very, very keen to help you. All right, I guess you can still see my screen. Yes. So yeah, let me rephrase this. So I was saying, in the contact us page, we received a question about how to personalize, let's say, to personalize an APL document after the migration from render template. And according to the guidelines, we suggest to use different APL responsive templates, like Alexa headline or Alexa detail. And that's very good, because for person that never saw APL before, they just need to add a new component and then match all the properties from the previous one to the responsive template here. So, but the developer was saying, I created Alexa headline, but now how can I increase the text? So Alexa headline, being a responsive component, and I can show it right now, doesn't really have any parameters when it comes to the text size or text color. It's just baked inside the Alexa headline because it's a responsive component. So all of this can only be changed by different presets, which for which there is a property, I guess. So yeah, theme. You can change. You may make it dark. You can make it light, or you can change some presets around it. But there is no granularity when it comes to having the text bigger or changing the color the way you want. So let's go another few questions. How can I put my Alexa Amazon PC app in Spanish? I guess you're referring to the Alexa app for Windows, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's in the Microsoft Store, so you should be able to, right? Yeah, so you should be able to change it from the settings, I guess, or you can try from the Alexa app, because if you install, from my experience, if you install Alexa on a computer, you can it basically appears as a device, as an additional device on your Alexa app, like it was an Echo family device. I guess you can change the language from there. Let me see if I still have mine, so I can quickly test it. Just bear with me. Don't remember though. Devices. No, I think I uninstalled it. But yeah, so I think this is a good question for the forums actually. If you haven't seen it, just hand over here, Alexa.design forums, and put your question on it. I don't think we have a Mac version, but let me see. Yeah, I'm sure someone in the community already used the Amazon Alexa app for computer and tried to change the language. So yeah, no, that's for iPhone and iPad. There is no Mac version that I know of, that I'm aware about. But please, just open a forum post with your concerns, and either someone from the community or we can help you. Okay, back to the screen. I'm pretty sure I've used the Alexa app in English UK, so I changed the locale at the very least. So back to this. Let me quickly check YouTube as well. So quiet. All right. So yeah, I was saying the Alexa headline doesn't accept any like you cannot change the text, so you cannot change the size or the color of the text. There is not this granularity, and I can quickly show how it looks. So if I go, I'm pretending that I'm migrating from render template to APL, and I will add some Alexa headline. Hello, Gold Zulu. Welcome. We were talking about some of the recurring questions that I've been seeing lately regarding the deprecation of render template, and yeah, I'm trying to explain according to the guideline that sometimes the Alexa the Alexa headline component doesn't really cover all the things that a developer wants to do. For example, to change the text, so the text size, but that's not possible. So I'm trying to do it from scratch, just to show you. Can you just confirm that you can see my screen, please? Okay, so let's create an APL-based document in which I'm importing Alexa layouts, and I already generated a little 100VH, 100VW container. So, according to the guideline, to migrate body template 1, I should add Alexa headline and then change the title, which is what I'm doing right now. Someone says I'm getting a really blurry screen. Let me see if I can fix it. Because looks good on my side. Maybe you can scale the resolution on Twitch. You can scale it down. Let me just double check. I'm trying to scale down the resolution, but let me know if you have any issues. Should be fine. I don't see any dropped frame from my side. So okay, so oxygen box is saying reloaded and no blurriness. Okay, fine. All right, so let's get back to this and try to add an Alexa headline, which I'm doing right now. Just a quick tip, I can see a lot of components here, not just the native ones that are on the right, because I have imported Alexa layouts, which is the last version of it. That's the last revision of Alexa layout that lets you add those kind of components. So what I can add is Alexa headline. That's it, and then I'll match those. I know we did that in the last stream, but I like to do the same without using responsive components, so that you can enlarge the text or something like that. So primary text, secondary text. Let's make it dark. So I've just filled a few properties here, and as you can see, there is primary text here, secondary text there, title, subtitle. That's it. There is no way to make it bigger, to make it shorter. It's just as is, because as I mentioned before, it's an Alexa responsive component. So what can we do here? I can show you here live how to make this text, basically how to replicate the Alexa headline with primitives and natives, let's say, components, so that you can change whatever you want. Let's open a new display interface, a new window of the authoring tool. Let's show my face as well. blank document, and I'll basically, that's fine, and I'll basically copy this. Okay, of course I have the same thing, but let's remove Alexa headline, and we said we want a text in the middle and a title. So what we can do is adding text, then we can see that the Alexa headline is taking pretty much the entire screen. So I will set this text to 100 VW and 100 EVH, so take the entire screen. As a little reminder, VW stays for basically represents the entire the 100% of the vertical points of the vertical points of the width. Same thing, vertical points of the height. So and the entire screen. And then we put the text. So our text is going to be primary text, which appears here. So the fact that it's appearing on the upper left corner is because we didn't set any alignment to this. So if we do center, it should be at the very center of the screen. Now, what's the difference? Here we just set the text, and the Alexa headline took care of the sides, the color, the transparency, and everything. But now here, since you're using primitive or native text component, you have access to all of this. You can make it bold, you can make it bigger, you can change the color. I can put it to red, and then it changes to red. You can change the style and everything you need. Should be also font size as well. I usually do maybe 10 VW, so that that's a bit too big, maybe 5. So this, if you set any size like this, you are so the text will resize based on the size of the screen. So if I change this, you see it gets bigger or smaller depending on how big or how small is the screen. So using this relative positioning, relative sizes actually helps in that front as well. There is no need to, so with this approach you're avoiding to put a when clause for everything, at least, so you can basically refer to take 5%, the size of this text takes 5% of the width. So should be pretty neat. Then same thing, we want to add something at the bottom. So we need to, you have two ways. You can add a BR tag here. Which is the same tag as HTML. So APL supports some of the HTML kind of tags. So if you put BR on a text, you get this effect. Now what's left to do is adding the title. This is a bit tricky, let's say. It involves some of, let's say, general front-end development skills, knowledge, which is, but it's nothing special actually. So in our APL document, we have already imported Alexa layout. So it means that also the other one is, this new clone that we are making supports all the responsive components that are selectable from here. And there should be one called Alexa header, exactly, that supports title and subtitle. So we can say this is the title, and then here we can say this is the subtitle. So they are not appearing for a reason, because I'm putting this Alexa header as the child of this container, but this text is already taking 100% of the text. So in order to make it appear here, we should make it basically, we should say that this component it's on absolute positioning. so that it doesn't really matter where it is. It will be always drawn, let's say, on top of what you have behind it. So we can go here in Alexa header and put position or positioning, let's say, I don't remember, absolute, and there we go, it's appearing here. As I said, since it's the child of the container, it should not be rendered in the screen, because the first child is taking the entire screen. But if we set it to position absolute, it will stay on the top. If I press the preview mode, there is nothing changed, but we basically created similar looking. Of course, you can change all the properties here that you want. We created a similar experience to your users, but you are not using Alexa headline. So now for this, you are free to change everything you want to change. You want to make the text red or blue or yellow. You just go on this component and you have access to all the information needed. All right. So, and that was it for Alexa headline. The procedure for Alexa detail, body, and Alexa headline background are pretty similar. So according on how it looks, we should be able to create an exactly looking, so very, very similar looking one, but with the flexibility to change what we want to change. So I can download this and maybe make it available somewhere in the future. Let me know if you're looking to if you would be interested in something like this, so I can maybe post it in one of our channel. So we have more or less 20 minutes left. So let me know if you have anything else you want me to cover, and if you have any questions. I'm here to answer your concerns, questions, or whatever the case may be. So don't be afraid. We will be doing this session every 2 weeks in an EU-friendly time. So 4 p.m. BST and 5 p.m. CHEST, so Central European time. I'm based in the UK, so it's 4:39 for me. So yeah, I'll say 4 p.m. BST every 2 weeks. And that could be also a follow-up to the weekly sessions that Jeff Blackenberg is doing on Tuesdays. So yesterday he did one. I saw he was in Seattle, and he did this pretty similar thing, like ask me anything kind of session. So yeah, you can basically ask whatever you want. All right, I don't see any other question in the chat, so I would move on to maybe look how Alexa detail works, and now we can make it let's say similar. I hope you can see the screen because there is my face in the bottom left, but should be fine. You should be able to see how this looks. Okay, so I've saved this so I can scratch it. So let's do the same thing for this Alexa detail, but meanwhile there is a question. Let me see. What's your best advice to handle round hub or small screens? Responsive seem to work well for most, but I find heavy to duplicate layouts for the round. Is there a better way? That's a pretty good question. So let's see how they look, because I already have an Excel headline here, which is a responsive component. And yeah, it seems to be cropping or taking out of the way the Alexa header. Well, it's Alexa header underneath, but let's say the title. But other than that, looks okay. Actually, let's revert what I did without the Alexa headline to see if it looks similar. So I can maybe provide maybe a workaround or a best practice on the fly here. Okay, I've downloaded it. Let me open. Downloads. Let me copy the doc back. Okay, so I have my non-Alexa responsive component kind of layout, and if I press here, yeah, I see a primary and secondary text, but this is, so the Alexa header, or let's say the header in general, is disappearing. So back to your question, it is, so as long as you don't want to make your document very, very complex in terms of how to handle all the different resizes based on like in which part of the skill you are, I don't think there is a better way to create like other than using when clauses, because the approach that I put here, for example, to set the font size to 5VW, it's applicable and works, and you get a kind of consistency among all the squared kind of screens. But on a circular one, I'm not even sure, like by design, I'm not even sure where would I put the header here, because it's on the upper left corner, but it's being a circular screen would look a bit weird to have it like cut on this side. So tab 5T3R, to answer your question, maybe share your layout on the forums, and you can tag me as well, so I can maybe have a look at your layout and suggest you something, because I don't really know unless I see what you built. But in general, what I would personally do, and that's not necessarily a best practice, but since a round kind of screen would maybe make me kind of rethink on how to create my layout and where to move where to put things, I'd say maybe in your backend I would create a completely different document for if from my JSON request I see that it's coming from a round screen, and then render a completely different JSON, maybe keeping all the data sources reference the same. So on the render on the code, when you push the APL render document directive, you have the same data, but you just change the document. So there is no, so in that case, you don't need to handle two different datas as well, unless there is something you don't really want to show. But that's another thing. Other questions? Gohaku. I'm not sure what you mean by Jamstack projects, but yeah, this is the Alexa developers EU office hours. It's a stream that we do every 2 weeks in a EU-friendly time. So 4 p.m. in the UK, 5 p.m. rest of Europe, Central Europe. And yeah, we basically talk about Alexa development, or I usually address all questions that are in the chat. Yeah, so if you have any question, just drop it here, or since I saw you just joined, I can show our contact us references. So if you have a question or a concern that is very specific to let's say your account, you can open a ticket to us through the Alexa contact us page, which is the first link after the Alexa logo. Alexa.design contact us, or Alexa.design forums. And yeah, the first one is a one-to-one interaction with us. The second one is an open forum in which you can get questions you can get answers from the community or from us directly. So just take note of them. Back to my screen. Actually, I'll do this. Another question. I wonder, for example, under the hood, how is Alexa image list implemented for hub round if needed to make something similarly, but not using a responsive component? Okay, I think Alexa image list, it's pretty much a sequence with, I don't know, I mean, there is no, so we don't expose how the responsive components are made, but I'm just guessing that it should be a list of, so it should be a sequence with some data filled in so that you can scroll it according to how many, let's say how many elements you want to show on the screen and make the user touch. But that's a good question as well. I'll just say how it looks. So if we search for, how it's called, Alexa image list. Maybe we can also see on the fly how it looks on a rounded kind of device. So background align, entities, there must be some information about, there's, yeah, list items, array of Alexa image list item. An array of items to display in the list. Each item is an object with the same properties as defining Alexa list item. So yeah, I would say it's pretty much a sequence. And the internal, so for how it's made, how the Alexa image list layout is made, is checking the array that you pass in the list item property, and then generating a new element for each of it, for each item. So actually, let's see how it looks. We don't need this anymore. So maybe I didn't mention it, but I think it's worth saying it. So within the Alexa Developer Advocacy Group, I'm the, so my main point of focus is multimodal interactions. So Alexa presentation language, render template, even if it's getting deprecated, Alexa Web API for games, and everything related to the, say, multimodal kind of environment. So yeah, if you have maybe an API related question that I was not able to answer or address in the here in the stream, just drop us, contact us, or write on the forum. I think you can tag me as well in the forum. My name on the forum is Gaetano at Amazon, so very straightforward. Okay, so Alexa image list. Let's see how it looks. Okay, let's go to the square first. Okay, theme, we don't really need it. Header title, again, this is the title. That's already interesting to see where the title goes. It just disappears. There is no title for rounded screens. Actually, you know what? Let me write it down as a feedback, because I understand that maybe we cannot have a header here, but since it's just a title, I guess we can work on something to make it rendered in the very center here. But the fact that it disappears, I don't think it's wanted, but I'm not sure. Let me write this into a text file. So Alexa, thanks for the question though. Alexa image list, title on rounded screens. Okay, so list items, the item that we display in the list. There's a comment here, the attribution image stays on round screen. Is attribution image a property? Yeah, I guess you refer to this one. I have an Amazon logo here that I can, on my S3 bucket, that I can try. Okay, I see what you mean. Yes, but to be honest, I don't see why we should not render the title. But yeah, I'll need to get back to you on this. Yeah, I hope you can all see the properties here. Let me move this down. Okay, great. So yeah, the title is not appearing. So that's a very good point. Yeah. So is there anything you did to overcome this? Did you get, let's say, stuck with Alexa image list, or you have implemented your own component so that it appears here? Because this it is a rounded screen, but it's basically, it is still, so for the APL render it is still a square. So if you put something on top left, it's not starting from here, but it will start from yeah, the vertex, let's say, of the square. Okay, so yeah, we learned that the title is not appearing, so thanks for the feedback. I will definitely pass it over. Okay, so we have 5-ish minutes left. Let me have a quick look on the YouTube chat. Okay, there are a few questions on YouTube as well. One from Ribash Mishra. He or she is asking, how can I apply can fulfill intent request for name-free interaction using Python in Alexa skill? Okay, so the can fulfill intent request and name-free interaction, I don't think that they are strictly related to the, the programming language you're using. Because once you implement in order to implement the can fulfill intent request, I think you need to basically have an intent handler in your code. So it doesn't really matter if you're using Python or Alexa, or Node.js. Let's see. Maybe we already have some GitHub repository about that. Okay. If you use the SDK for Node.js or Java, you want to add support, you must update. Okay. Let's see how it says here. Yeah, basically it is saying that you need to prepare the skill manifest, interaction model, and skill related information, but I don't think you have to. I don't think there are limitations on using Python or Node.js or Java, because what your skill need to do is pretty much your skill should be able to accept this kind of request, which is the request type can fulfill intent request. So as long as you have an intent handler for that, you should be able to do what you need to do. Let's see if we have any sample in Python. Yeah, we have a Python hello world, and so I can paste you this into the YouTube chat. Give me a second. And yes, so as long as you have an intent request that is it's handling that intent type, so the request type, so can fulfill intent request, you should be able to do it. But there are a few things to keep in mind here. There is no way to, let's say, test the can fulfill intent request in a production manner. You cannot. There is no way to test it in the real world. The only thing you can do with the Ask CLI or with the manual JSON option for the developer portal is send. Where is prepare the JSON response, the JSON request. So you can only test if your skill is actually, let's say, compliant on the code side. So if you send this JSON request and your skill responds accordingly, you can assume that your skill will be picked up if Alexa thinks that the utterance that the developer is saying, the user is saying, matches an intent of your skill. So keep that in mind. And it's also only available to English US. Ajay is asking, what browser are you using? I'm using Chrome, but with the dark theme. So it's the usual Chrome from Mac. Okay, there's another question. I was trying to implement skill activation API, but my user has to log in twice using LWA. How can we reduce it to single login? That should not really happen, to be honest. I heard a similar question in one of other streams, maybe the one with Jeff. Did you? I guess for account linking skills and account linking cases, the best course of action would be write to us, because with just a question like this, I don't really know, like if there are some maybe configuration issues or maybe an error on the security profile side, on the LWA side. I don't really know. So I would suggest you to open a contact us page. Open a contact us ticket to us, to this page. Maybe you can refer that you asked the question in live streams. Make sure to share your skill ID as well, and make sure that the testing instruction of your in the developer portal on the B tab is filled with some test instructions. So some, let's say, test credentials, so that our testers and also us, so in that case we can reproduce the issue and try with a test account. We are approaching to the end of the stream. We have just a few seconds left. I don't see any more questions, at least there are none of YouTube. Let's check Twitch. Not really. So yes, I'd say thanks very much to everyone for joining. And as I said before, for the EU stream, we will catch up again in 2 weeks. So the next session should be on, let me check the calendar here quick, should be on the 23rd of June for the EU office hours. Thank you very much for joining, and see you in the next stream. Bye bye.